Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm Guns for Hire and welcome to the Gun Shop. Came across an interesting video on IGN and they were basically saying how Sony PlayStation or the PlayStation 4 beat Microsoft in this next generation battle. And they basically summed it up erroneously, I believe. It sounds like pepperoni. Pepperoniously, to the fact that they simply omitted the PlayStation Eye, you know, the camera, the new one, which looks really good. Like, it's way different from the typical, like, webcam Eye. Like, I mean, it looks something more along the lines of a Kinect. And I think it had that, you know, the dual camera, I think it had that. It was more advanced. I don't really know too much about it, to be quite honest with you. I'm curious about it. But they're saying that basically by dropping that, they were able to drop the price by $100. So they're saying that this, you know, accessory was about $100. It's this new accessory, and they're like, okay, well, let's drop it. But in the video, they're talking about how it's going to hurt them. That developers are like, well, you know, the fact that the Kinect is with every single, you know, Xbox One, it opens up that world for development. They don't have to worry about it. When they make a game for Xbox One, they know that every single person has that Kinect. So they can utilize that accessory, which is true. But for me, I still look at the Kinect, and this is where I have an issue with this article or this video that they made. I still look at the Kinect as an annoying accessory. I don't care about it. When I remember in E3 of 2012, was it, I believe? E3 of 2012, where their kids are flying. Remember? Oh my goodness, we're flying, Billy, in the Disney. I'm like, what? How are you appealing to me? That's garbage. And you know, the bowling, it's fun, but it's you know, it's just this thing that's out there. It's not even like a hardcore accessory. Maybe once in a while kids will use it. I know, like, for my house, you know, I have 3 boys. For the Nintendo Wii that we have upstairs, they do bowling. The odd time they'll play sports, but not a lot. Like, I'm talking about maybe 5% of the time. So really, is it dictating what kind of games they're playing? No. No, I mean, they're playing the Mario games, they're playing the Skylanders. They love the Skylanders. Nothing to do with the remote, nothing to do with motion. And, you know, for the games, maybe it's just because I don't play games like that, nor would I ever want to have to use voice commands or anything else when I'm playing games like Call of Duty or Battlefield on there. Like, I mean, these are the kind of games I like. Maybe for you, depending on the games that you play, you know, the Kinect makes sense and it makes it way more fun for you. That's cool. But I just don't see, like, the future of majority sales, especially third-party developers saying, oh man, we really got to use that Kinect. It's almost like they look for excuses to use Kinect. Not because it's like, man, if only we had something that would, you know, pick up motion and body temperature and know how many people are in the room, then we could take our game to the next level. It's like, okay, well, they've got the Kinect. Let's, you know, how would we use it? What can we do? Can we add it to it? It's like they're looking for excuses of actually to use that Kinect. And I just don't see it. So with, you know, Sony dropping it, they're like, oh, well, that's going to hurt them because the developers, you know, it's not there. Why develop a game that will use the PlayStation Eye when they really don't know how many people would be willing to buy that on top of the game? And I'm saying, well, then don't make one for it. You know what I mean? Don't waste your time with it. Just because Kinect, they've been cramming Kinect down our throats for so long, Microsoft has put in there, and I've yet to see a truly amazing game that uses the Kinect, or solely or whatever, that it's like, wow, without Kinect, that game would be horrible. You know what I mean? And I'm not talking about bowling, because obviously you got to do that one. I'm talking about, like, real games. I'm just saying, bowling, fun when your friends come over, like, we're doing karaoke, now we're going to do some bowling on our Kinect, come on over, I'm not a serious gamer. Just playing some silly little games. Got my Wii here playing those sort of sports games, and we got bowling on the Kinect. No, I think it's ridiculous. I don't think that's a justification. And it's not, in terms of just selling and how they were able to beat Microsoft, it was not just based on the $100. That was the cherry, and then went BAM! You know, Emerald. They were like cooking, they're like this, and then we'd go BAM! And they're like, it's $100 cheaper, and I was like, wow, I'm buying it. I mean, let's face it, in the beginning, before Microsoft made the necessary changes, it was the DRM, it was the 24-hour online, it was the way that they looked at renting games. It was all of that stuff there. They made multiple mistakes, and they slowly corrected. It wasn't the camera by itself or the $300 that allowed, you know, the PS4 to win this, you know, the popularity contest. Whether they win the marathon, the long distance, in, you know, in 5 years, I was going to say 10 years from now, but I think they're going to start producing these systems a heck of a lot more often, or get rid of them altogether, but whatever. 5 years from now, who knows? Microsoft could easily just take over and say, yeah, you screwed up, look at us with your Kinect, it's amazing, blah, blah, blah. But let's face it, in the beginning, Sony did kick their butts, and that's why they were able to get so many more. It's not even me saying that. That's the reality is it was almost a 2-to-1 pre-order sales. Like, they just annihilated them. Microsoft is slowly climbing back and accelerating in their pre-order sales. I think they've actually closed that gap quite a bit now because of the corrections they've made. But down to the camera, I don't know. I mean, here's the question then. For the beginning, I'm not talking about now because Microsoft has, you know, made quite a few corrections and it seems to be on the right path. But what was it for you? Was it solely based on the 300? Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was. Maybe the fact that it's $100 cheaper, it made the system better. So my question to you is, in those wars, in that initial launch war, was it solely based on the lack of camera, the $300? So basically the price point, is that what allowed them to win? Or was it the combination? Like, which one was more important? The $100 cheaper, which possibly could have, or was it the fact that this 24-hour DRM, the digital rights management, you know, renting and not being able to trade games with anyone? Remember that? It was, you could not trade a game with someone. They couldn't do that unless they paid almost the same price as going out and buying it new. All those things. Which one of those features do you think cost Microsoft the loss in that initial launch? Was it the price? I don't know. I mean, I don't think it was. I think that was just irrelevant. And the other thing is, do you think this will hurt Sony in the long run? Do you think developers are like, oh man, we really wanted that eye in there, it's a big blunder. Now that Microsoft has the Kinect, well, you know, and it's on there, we're going to want to do that. Do you see the future? Like, is Kinect really that big now? I mean, maybe I'm out to lunch. Do you see it as something really big? Let me know in the comments below. Maybe I'm out to lunch.